Hello and welcome. My name is Ernesto Caesar. I am the owner of Water Savers Plumbing, and I have with me today Mr. Rod Cole, the owner of Above All Cleaning and Restoration. We're here today because we want to share with you some tips that will hopefully get you to preserve your property and avoid you from having a major event that's detrimental to your property, or to give you some tips that can help you navigate that situation and get the proper solution with the least amount of grief. We're talking about here about floods, broken pipes, and the damage, the resulting damage, and what can happen to the property that you own. Here in Metro Atlanta, we have a lot of instances of frozen pipes and busted pipes. In all, I would say maybe every 10 years we have a major event, but on a regular basis we have floods from regular busted pipes. When this happens, the plumbers have to come in and they have to identify the problem, repair the problem, and that's the least of it. Because in order to do this, sometimes we have to remove cabinets, or we got to cut walls, ceilings, or whatever to gain access to the actual busted pipe in order for us to perform our repair. What we have found in doing this over the past 30 years is that for our customers, our customer base, it is critical that we not just do that, we need to give them a turnkey solution. We pride ourselves in our customers' reviews and the rating that they give us. And the way that we have attained this A+ rating is through our 100% customer satisfaction. So we've developed the concept of a turnkey. Whereas when we come in, we make sure that the customer's property is restored to its original condition or better, which is our objective. Again, to talk about the busted pipes and give you a little bit of insight into that, when you have these freezes, it's easy to say that all we need to do is to do some preventive measures to keep it from happening. Unfortunately, sometimes through poor practices, that plumbing, that may not work. So what to do in these situations? Well, if you have a frozen pipe, the first thing you'd have to do is to try and defrost it before it bursts. And normally that will not happen for 36 to 48 hours. So you have some time to work on that. If that does happen, or if you're out of town or whatever happens and you do have an event, well, definitely at that point you'll need a plumber to get through that situation and correct the plumbing. But the cost of the plumbing is minuscule as compared to the damage to your property. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cole, and he's going to help explain what you can do as far as getting your water out and how you can reconstruct your property. Right.
Well, first of all, thank you, Ernesto. Basically, the process is this. When you have a busted pipe in your home, you have water intrusion, first person to call is Water Savers Plumbing. Because you have to get, number one, determine the source and figure out how to get it shut off. Basically, what we do, the service we offer, is we clean up the damage. We do preventative measures to prevent mold growth and different things like that. The most important part is getting your structure dried out properly and rapidly. So the first phase of what we do is called, in insurance terms, is emergency service. So we're there to mitigate the damages. We're there to keep the damages down to a minimum. So initially, again, call Water Savers Plumbing when you have water intrusion to figure out where the water's coming from and get it shut off. At that point, then give Above All Cleaning and Restoration a call. We'll come out, we'll evaluate your property, we'll be very thorough. A lot of times people see the water on the floor and they think that they can just extract the water and don't notice the hidden damages that it could cause. In this instance, we're at an actual customer's home. He had a pipe burst here in the wall and the water ran down. This wall, the floor was raised for insulation reasons, so the water ran down under and it went undetected for a long period of time. Being that the pipe was here in the wall, you had insulation here, insulation was wet, water ran down here behind these beams up underneath the floor, and it just went undiscovered for a long period of time. Again, a homeowner may see some water here and say, hey, I got a leak, and just wipe it up and go away. this created a lot of damage. There were other companies that came out that were referred by the insurance company that inspected and said, hey, look, we just pulled the carpet up, put fans on it, dry it, and they weren't very thorough in their investigation. If they would have noticed that the floor was up off of the concrete, and it was up on 2x4s and plywood. So we came out, did an initial inspection. Of course, our invoice was a good bit higher than the other contractor that came out, but if they would have done their homework, they would have understood why. Prevention is the best thing, because in situations like this, again, when undetected, we spoke before about insurance companies and how they say, okay, if you don't properly maintenance your property, then we won't cover it. In this instance, this pipe went undetected for a long period of time, so this is a covered loss because the homeowner had no awareness of anything that was going on. But without being thorough, this could have been an issue that went on and on, even with another restoration company coming in here. If they didn't know the proper steps, if they didn't investigate it right, if the homeowner decided, you know what, this is my insurance company, I trust them, I'm going to go with these guys, then he would have been looking at issues long time, 3 years from now, and undiscovered damage, because again, everybody's not going to be thorough. We pride ourselves in being thorough. Water Savers is one of the top plumbing companies in the Atlanta metro area. He's been in the business for a lot of years. Great clientele base, and very well trusted. Without the A+ on the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List and a ton of other lists to speak highly of their services. We strive to be what Water Savers Plumbing is, but in all seriousness, be very thorough. Don't be trusting, because this is your insurance company. Do your homework, be diligent in it. Don't let the insurance company ram something down your throat. This is your home, and it's your duty to protect your home. All right?
Thank you, Rod. I'd like to pick up on something Rod said, because thank you for that compliment, but he's being a little bit humble. In all fairness, if we had I think most families' home is their most valuable possession. How many of us would go into a legal situation without representation? The insurance companies deal with these issues every day, and they have attorneys and professionals, and they have seminars, and they have each other, and they gather and train, and they really fine-tune their message to keep homeowners in the dark. When most homeowners have never had a major damage or situation like this occur to them. So think about that. Do you want to put your trust into a private company who you do not know other than your agent to whom you're paying for a service? I think that you would be better served finding someone who you trust and who knows the law and can best advise you and your customer or your family as to what they are legally entitled to, and also how they can best protect themselves and file a claim. There are a lot of, anything you say, I advise all my customers something that I learned many years ago from working and dealing with insurance companies. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So please take the time and think this through and find the right professional for yourself or your family. And when in doubt, please give us a call. Have a nice day.